You are not to marry him.
We disapprove.
But we love each other.
I forbid it.
It's final.
I told you, this marriage is out of the question. She's not the woman for you.
But we love each other.
Love doesn't matter here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's emotional New Year story, we follow a powerful CEO who brings the woman he loves, Tieu Lac, home to celebrate Tet and introduce her to his family. What was meant to be a joyful reunion quickly turns into heartbreak when his parents reject her, believing she is too poor, uneducated, and unworthy of standing beside their successful son. Sitting at a luxurious holiday table filled with tradition and expectation, Tieu Lac faces painful judgment about her background as a simple farm girl. But just when she is ready to step away to protect the man she loves, the CEO makes a life-changing decision. He stands up to his own family, defends her dignity, and chooses love over wealth, pride, and status. Hand in hand, they leave the mansion behind and return to the farm, proving that true happiness is built on respect, loyalty, and sincere love, not social class. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional, inspiring love stories about courage, family, and choosing happiness. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story. The afternoon light of the last days of the year shimmered softly across the city as families hurried home to prepare for Lunar New Year. Streets were filled with red lanterns, peach blossoms, and the warm hum of celebration. Inside a sleek black car moving steadily toward an upscale residential district, the CEO held the steering wheel tighter than usual. Beside him sat Tieu Lac, her fingers gently intertwined in her lap, her heart beating far louder than the festive drums echoing outside. Today was not just another visit. It was her first time stepping into his world, the world of wealth, reputation, and expectations. He had insisted on bringing her home to Tet, wanting his parents to meet the woman he loved. To him, this was a proud and joyful step. To her, it felt like walking into a silent storm. Tieu Lac wore a simple pastel dye, elegant yet modest. She had chosen it carefully, hoping it would show respect without appearing too plain. She knew she did not come from a wealthy family. She had grown up at the farm, waking before sunrise, tending crops, feeding animals, and learning resilience through hardship rather than textbooks. She did not have prestigious degrees or polished social skills shaped by elite gatherings. What she had was sincerity, kindness, and a quiet strength built from years of perseverance. When the car stopped in front of the grand villa, her breath caught. The house stood tall and magnificent, decorated beautifully for Tet, with golden apricot blossoms lining the entrance and red couplets hanging neatly on either side of the door. Everything looked flawless, almost intimidatingly perfect. She suddenly became aware of how small she felt. The CEO stepped out first, walked around the car, and opened the door for her. He gave her a reassuring smile, squeezing her hand gently. "Don't worry, I'm here," he whispered. His voice was steady, but even he could not completely hide the tension in his eyes. As they walked through the gates, the sound of laughter drifted from inside the house. Relatives had gathered early for the holiday meal. The warmth of family celebration contrasted sharply with the cold anxiety creeping into Tieu Lac's chest. His mother was the first to greet them in the living room. She wore an elegant silk dress, her posture straight and dignified. Her gaze landed on Tieu Lac and lingered, not warmly, not welcomingly, but assessing. His father followed, holding a teacup, his expression calm yet distant. "So," his father began, voice deep and controlled, "what does your family do?" The question sounded polite on the surface, yet it carried layers beneath it. Tieu Lac's throat tightened. She answered honestly about her family's small farm, about working alongside her grandparents, about living a simple life. The room grew noticeably cooler. Outside, fireworks began to crackle in celebration of the coming year. Inside, however, an invisible tension was building. The CEO sensed it, but he still held on to hope that love would be enough to bridge the distance between two worlds. Tieu Lac stood beside him quietly, her heart trembling, knowing that this dinner would determine far more than just a holiday memory. The air in the dining room felt heavier with every passing minute. The long mahogany table was set beautifully with traditional Tet dishes, braised pork, sticky rice cakes, pickled vegetables, and steaming bowls of soup. Yet no one seemed to truly taste the food. The atmosphere, which should have been filled with warmth and reunion, was strained and fragile. After Tieu Lac answered about her family's farm, the CEO's mother leaned back slightly in her chair. Her expression remained composed, but her voice carried unmistakable disapproval. "So, your family are farmers," she repeated, as if clarifying something she already understood. "And you did not attend university?" Tieu Lac lowered her eyes respectfully. "No, ma'am. I stayed home to help my grandparents. Our farm is small and they needed me." There was a faint sigh from across the table. "In this family," his mother continued, "we value education and status. My son has built a corporation from nothing. He carries responsibilities that most people cannot imagine. The woman standing beside him must be able to support him socially, intellectually, and professionally." Each word was delivered calmly, but they landed like stones. His father added quietly, "Marriage is not just about feelings, it is about compatibility, background, knowledge, reputation. The business world watches everything." Tieu Lac felt heat rush to her cheeks. She had expected doubt, perhaps even resistance, but hearing it spoken so directly made her chest tighten painfully. She clasped her hands under the table to keep them from trembling. "I understand," she said softly. "I never meant to cause trouble for your family." Her humility did not soften the room. His mother's gaze sharpened. "Love alone is not enough. You may be kind, but kindness does not manage board meetings or attend international galas. Do you even know how to navigate those environments?" The question was not meant for an answer. The CEO shifted in his seat. "Mom," but she continued, "My son deserves someone who matches his level, someone from a respected family, someone who brings value equal to what he gives." The implication hung in the air. Tieu Lac did not. A distant relative at the table exchanged glances, but remained silent. No one defended her. The ticking of the wall clock seemed unnaturally loud. Tieu Lac's heart pounded. She had worked under the sun until her skin burned, endured storms that nearly destroyed their crops, stayed awake through nights caring for sick animals, yet none of that seemed to count in this room. Here, success was measured in diplomas, connections, and wealth. She swallowed the ache rising in her throat. "If my presence makes things difficult," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the tears threatening her eyes, "I can leave. I don't want him to be torn between me and his family." Her words were sincere. She loved him enough to step aside if it meant protecting his future. That was the moment the CEO felt something inside him snap. He had remained respectful, hoping the conversation would calm, but seeing Tieu Lac accept humiliation with such grace shattered his restraint. He noticed the way she avoided eye contact now, the way her shoulders seemed smaller than when they had walked in. The vibrant girl who laughed freely at the farm was slowly fading under judgment. His father spoke once more, firm and decisive. "You must think carefully, son. A relationship built on imbalance will not last." Imbalance. The word echoed in the CEO's mind. Was love truly an imbalance? Was strength only defined by degrees and family names? He looked at Tieu Lac, the girl who had supported him during his hardest business failures, who had never once cared about his title, who loved him simply as a man. And in that suffocating silence, he realized the true imbalance was not between him and her, but between love and pride seated at that table. The silence after his father's final words felt suffocating. The CEO slowly pushed his chair back. The sharp sound of wood scraping against marble cut through the heavy air. Every pair of eyes at the table turned toward him. His mother looked surprised. His father's expression hardened slightly, anticipating defiance. He stood tall, not as the successful businessman the world admired, but as a man protecting the woman he loved. "Enough," he said, his voice calm but firm. Tieu Lac looked up at him, startled. Her eyes were glossy, yet she tried to shake her head subtly, as if begging him not to make things worse. But he had already made his decision. "You speak about balance, education, and reputation," he continued, looking directly at his parents. "But the woman standing beside me has something far more valuable than any degree or social status." His mother frowned. "And what is that?" "Character," he replied without hesitation. "Strength, loyalty, a heart that has never once calculated my worth by my income." The room fell completely silent. He walked around the table and stood beside Tieu Lac, gently taking her trembling hand in his. This time, he did not hide the gesture. His grip was protective, steady, certain. "When my company was struggling 3 years ago, when investors pulled out and the media questioned my leadership, none of the so-called respected families stood by me. It was her. She listened to me through sleepless nights. She believed in me when I doubted myself." His father's expression shifted slightly, but he remained quiet. "You say she cannot attend galas," he continued. "Then I will teach her. You say she does not understand the business world. She understands people better than most executives I've met, and that matters." His mother's tone sharpened. "Love has made you reckless." "No," he answered steadily. "Love has made me clear." He turned to face them fully. "I have spent my entire life building success the way you taught me to. I respect everything you've done for me. But I will not measure the woman I marry by her family's bank account." Tieu Lac's fingers tightened around his. She could feel his pulse racing, yet his posture never wavered. "If being with her disappoints you," he said quietly, "then I am prepared to accept that. But I will not let anyone diminish her worth, not even my own family." A shocked murmur passed among the relatives. His father finally spoke. "Are you saying you would walk away from this house for her?" The CEO did not hesitate. "Yes." The single word echoed like a final decision carved in stone. Without another argument, he reached for Tieu Lac's coat and gently placed it over her shoulders. His movements were tender, deliberate, a silent reassurance that she was not alone. "Let's go," he whispered to her softly. They walked toward the door together. No one stopped them. The grand decorations, the luxurious interior, the lavish tete feast, none of it felt as important as the hand he was holding. Outside, the night air was cool. Fireworks burst across the sky in brilliant colors, celebrating new beginnings. The sound filled the silence between them. Only when they reached the car did Tieu Lac finally break down. Tears streamed down her cheeks, not from shame this time, but from overwhelming emotion. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered. He cupped her face gently. "Yes, I did, because loving you is not a mistake I need permission for." Instead of driving back to the glittering city center, he turned the car toward the countryside, toward the farm where love grew naturally, without judgment. As the city lights faded behind them, he felt no regret. For the first time that evening, he felt free. Because sometimes choosing love means walking away from comfort and walking toward the only place that truly feels like home.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Lý Tiểu Lạc Review. Vậy là câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay đã kết thúc tại đây. Trong câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta thì đã kể về nội dung đó chính là việc vị CEO đã đưa Tiểu Lạc về thành phố ăn Tết cùng với gia đình anh. Nhân dịp Tết thì anh cũng đưa Tiểu Lạc về ra mắt bố mẹ và giới thiệu với bố mẹ đây chính là người yêu của mình. Trong cái buổi ra mắt ngày hôm đó thì bố mẹ của CEO đã không chấp nhận Tiểu Lạc, bởi vì họ nghĩ rằng con trai họ là một sĩ CEO thì phải xứng đáng với một người con gái khác tốt đẹp hơn Tiểu Lạc và có hoàn cảnh tương xứng với lại vị CEO, chứ không phải là một người phụ nữ single mom đã từng bỏ chồng như Tiểu Lạc mà không có người thân thích. Tiểu Lạc cảm thấy rất buồn khi không được bố mẹ CEO chấp nhận, nhưng CEO đã động viên Tiểu Lạc và anh hứa sẽ luôn ở bên Tiểu Lạc bảo vệ cô và tìm cách thuyết phục bố mẹ anh. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện sẽ còn được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn đừng quên bấm vào nút subscribe, đăng ký kênh sẽ nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các câu chuyện sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Lý Tiểu Lạc Review nhé. Nếu các bạn thấy video hay, hấp dẫn với lạ, hãy cho mình xin nút like, share và để lại bình luận góp ý ở dưới video. Và đặc biệt, các bạn hãy bấm vào giỏ hàng được đính kèm ở trên video để mua các sản phẩm ủng hộ Tiểu Lạc và CEO nếu sản phẩm đó phù hợp với các bạn nha. Xin chào và xin hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở các tập tiếp theo. Bye bye!